Hi lovely viewers and welcome back to the channel. Before I begin with today's video, I want to first thank each and every person who viewed the last video and subscribed to the channel. Your support truly means a lot. In today's video, we are going to do an astrological analysis into the ongoing defamation trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I have been keeping up with the testimony of both parties, and this made me curious to understand and evaluate which side of the legal battle looks more convincing with regards to their claims of domestic violence. In order to uncover that, we are going to be looking into the astrological birth charts of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard to discover who is more likely to be incited to anger and resort to violence, and also who amongst them is more likely to win this case. If you are interested to watch this, then keep on watching further and please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. A disclaimer before beginning is that this video might be a little longer, but it is surely going to be extremely informative. So I really hope and would strongly recommend you watch the whole video because the analysis is really deeply researched and compiled in a way that will be interesting to gauge the truth behind the matter. Starting off with uncovering the cosmic coincidences and consequences working behind the scenes of this trial between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. When we see the timeline of the beginning and ending dates of the trial, it's such mystical cosmic serendipity that the defamation trial began on 12th April, which is the exact day when the nodes of the moon, that is Rahu and Ketu, or also known as North Node and South Node, started a new cycle of karmic resetting in the signs of Aries and Libra respectively. And what is even further mind-boggling is the fact that Amber Heard herself has the nodes in her birth chart in these exact same signs, showing us how karmically charged this trial is going to be for her, as the nodes of the moon are the karmic axis on which our life is centered around. When it comes to the perceived ending date of the trial being 19th of May, which will have certain very interesting planetary transits happening around the date as mentioned on the screen. Why this is consequential is because the planet of communication Mercury is right now retrograde in the sign of Taurus, which also signifies your speech. Hence, there is a chance of miscommunications and misunderstandings taking place during the testimony of either parties. Another crucial planet changing signs, which would be Mars, that is a planet of aggression and passion. And this will also change the tides of the ongoing case and impact testimonies. Now, while hearing and evaluating the testimonies presented in the court until now, there are certain themes which have aligned themselves cosmically with the indications present in both of their charts. And to explain these instances, I would first acquaint you with what nakshatras are in Vedic astrology. So the whole expanse of the 360 degree of the sky is divided into constellations or lunar mansions, and these are called nakshatras. These are lunar mansions as Vedic astrology considers moon signs as pivotal. There are 27 nakshatras which are connected to the 12 natal signs, and these were used to give a fine-tuned and precise prediction. On the top right side of the video, you can see a pop-up for a video on nakshatras that I've made recently, which will help you further understand this concept better. So do check that out too. Moving on to specific details regarding these instances, I would like to first do a deep dive into the anger and violence indicator in astrology, that is Mars, for both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard to understand who is more likely to an insolent temper amongst them. When we check their charts, we see that Johnny Depp has a Leo Mars in the 2nd house, while Amber Heard has a Sagittarius Mars in the 7th house. Both of these signs of Leo and Sagittarius are fire signs, where the planet Mars is exposed to a greater energy, leading to aggravating tempers and a passionate demeanor. But where we can narrow down the proclivities of anger and violence between these two Mars placements is by looking at the narrowed down perspective of evaluating it through nakshatra placements of the planet of Mars in both of these charts. For Johnny Depp, his Mars is in the nakshatra of Magha, which is symbolized by a throne. The natives of this nakshatra are meant to sit on a throne like that of a king's status, and hence are confident, virile, and driven. This nakshatra is ruled by past life ancestors. That shows us that there is some sort of generational karma being implemented on them that can often lead to a sort of betrayal or coup, wherein the soldier or warrior, as represented by Mars in astrology, will try to capture the throne of the king present for the natives of this nakshatra. This becomes more prominent in Johnny's chart as this idealistic Mars is present in his second house of family and speech, which goes to show that he's especially protective about his family and likes to follow traditions. His way of speaking also denotes an air of authority. When we evaluate the Mars placement for Amber Heard, we see her Mars is placed in Purva Ashada Nakshatra, which is ruled by the planet Venus and symbolized by the divine waters or Apa. Now, in Indian mythology, there's a story wherein a battle took place between the Devas and Asuras for acquiring this holy water or Apa. What this tells us about the natives of this nakshatra is that it signifies a war of belief system. These are individuals who can wage wars on basis of their strong beliefs. These natives would not back down in times of fight or war and are solely focused on victory and conquering. They are resilient against being told or advised about what to do and will fervently fight for their right to freedom as they envision for themselves. One of their biggest weapons is their good looks, as being blessed by the planet of love and beauty, Venus being its nakshatra lord. They will also be materialistic and self-seeking.
Sorry. I didn't realize anyone was there. I thought it was just floating.
What are you doing?
Escaping a dreadful party.
I thought maybe you were a mermaid.
I'm from Connecticut. Pointless. I'd better go before they wonder where I went.
Wait a minute, what's your name?
Let's keep that a secret.
No, I don't even know it.
Well, then you'll keep it even better.
By your star sign. I'm an experienced astronomer.
You try Pisces. The fish.
Oh, God.
Thank you for my roses.
I didn't think you noticed.
Of course I noticed.
Now, moving on to one of the major reasons why these two people came together in the first place is because the planet of love, that is Venus in the charts of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, is in the exact same sign and nakshatra, which made them cosmically feel like they are each other's better half, leading to an instant attraction. Both of them have Venus in the sign of Taurus in the nakshatra of Kritika. Now, why I felt it's important to mention this is because during the testimony of Amber Heard, there was an incident where she mentions that she gifted Johnny Depp a knife engraved with a saying which they used to fondly tell each other. This is such an aha moment of serendipity because the word Kritika itself means cutter. This nakshatra symbol is that of a knife and its ruling deity is Sun, which again represents the fire element. An interesting insight into how to deduce who has the tendency of cutting the other person open in a romantic relationship, metaphorically, not literally, is by looking at the sun placement of Depp and Heard in their respective birth charts. And this is where we get to know the truth. For Johnny Depp, his sun is in the sign of Taurus, in his 11th house conjunct with Mercury and Venus. This shows us that Johnny Depp is a philanthropist who likes to do good deeds and is charitable to the needy. It also shows us how generously loving and communicative he is with his mates and his admirers at large. When we see the placement of Sun in Amber Heard's birth chart, we see that her Sun too is in the 11th house. But the kicker is that it is conjunct with Rahu or North Node in the sign of Aries, which is ruled by Mars. This shows us that Amber is highly individualistic and self-serving, which can make her to cater to violence in a fit of anger, as Aries is a sign that is ruled by the planet of violence and aggression Mars, while also her sun or soul gets shadowed or overtaken by Rahu or the North Node, as it is conjunct with the sun, indicating her morals are shape-shifting and narrative bending.
You want a little bet?
Bet about what?
That you scream before I do. Well, how fast does it go?
I don't know.
That's the bet.
What do I get if I win?
I'll let you know if you do.
Take it back.
The last analysis of indication of partnership and violence comes from understanding the 7th house planetary placement and its nakshatra in Johnny Depp's chart. His 7th house, which is the house of partnerships and marriage, has the placement of the planet Saturn in the sign of Capricorn in the Dhanishta nakshatra. He has such a karmic placement of this planet in his chart that he was sadly bound to suffer because of his marriage and partnerships. Saturn is the planet of ensuring payment of karmic debts and lessons in this life. When placed in the house of marriage, it indicates that this was destined to be a struggle for Johnny. And also his Saturn is placed at 29 degrees in his chart, which is a critical degree in astrology, further consolidating his karmic retribution with marriage. Saturn is also a planet of maturity, and being placed at the highest degree of 29 shows us that he acts maturely and patiently in all his relationships and even marriages. From my understanding, almost all the relationships that he has been in, he has somehow either been engaged or married. He is extremely serious about his partnership. This Saturn is placed in the Dhanishta nakshatra, and this shows us exactly how he met and fell in love with Amber Heard and her own personality traits. As expressed in interviews, he was initially attracted to her because she liked the same music as him. And the nakshatra of Dhanishta is symbolized by the musical instrument drum or damru as played by Lord Shiva. This nakshatra also denotes wealth and financial prosperity, and as we know it now, Amber Heard has been seeking wealth and compensation from Johnny Depp since their divorce. Her aspirations to financially enrich herself on Johnny's behalf has been documented during this trial and testimonies. Also, the lord of this nakshatra, which is Mars, that we have established until now, is quite characteristic as a planet to depict Amber Heard's proclivity to violence and anger. Johnny Depp was undergoing a Saturn return for some time now, when Saturn was transiting the sign of Capricorn, showing that his karma is getting fulfilled during this period. When Saturn retrogrades back into the sign in July, he needs to be careful regarding his partnerships and dealings with others, as it has karmically charged energy written all over it. Moving to the last segment of the video, and one of the most important ones, being who is more likely to win this defamation trial. We will deduce this by looking at the dasha and transit chart for both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Let's begin by seeing Johnny's current dasha, which is the Jupiter dasha, and as we can see, he's running his Ketu Antardasha right now, which is going to end by 18th May 2022. In Johnny's chart, Ketu is placed in his 6th house of legal battles and enemies. So we can see that around this time, this legal trial will be ending for him. And next he will be moving into his Venus Dasha, which shows us that he will get the love and support of the larger public, as Venus is placed in his chart in the 11th house. This also indicates that he can monetarily gain and expand his finances during the Antardasha of Venus. Also, seeing the placement of Jupiter in his chart is so benefic, and he's being favored by luck even more now, as Jupiter is transiting in the same sign as in his natal chart, bringing him a greater stroke of luck. Everything seems to be working favorably in his chart right now, so his chances seem more likely to win. But also, to evaluate and understand the chances of Amber Heard winning, we see that she too is undergoing her Jupiter Dasha right now. And for her, also the Antardasha is of a planet that occupies the 6th house of legal battles in her natal chart, that is Saturn. Her Saturn Antardasha is going on until 5th of November 2022, showing us that her karma relating to legal cases will be paid until then. She would also need to be careful around her health, as Saturn's placement is extremely malefic in her chart. Also, while evaluating her Jupiter Dasha, we can see that her Ketu is being impacted in the sign of Libra, which denotes marriage and partnerships, while being placed in the 9th house of luck denotes that she will be separated or cut off from her luck in case of partnerships during this Dasha period. Also, right now, Mercury is transiting in a retrograde motion through the sign of Taurus, which is placed in her 12th house. This indicates some slip up or miscommunication during her testimony, which we could see the last day of her testimony before the break, as she mentions Kate Moss's name and makes a blunder during her testimony. The odds seem to be less favorable for her in regards to winning this trial. With this, I come to the end of this video. This has been a work of labor, as the research and compilation has been brutal. I would really appreciate if you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel so that I can keep bringing you further interesting astrology content. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with the next video. Until then, take care you all.